Morning, right? Good to be back. Obviously, short week, flipping the page, and obviously another great test ahead of us here this week as we get going in this Friday night game that we have up in Boise. Obviously, a really complete team that's playing high-level ball, but really pleased with the effort of our club, the growth that we continue to show. Obviously the result, I'm still sick to my stomach about that, but, we'll grow from it, we'll learn from it, the progress that we continue to make. Unfortunately, a part of progress is pain that comes along with it, and we felt some of that on Saturday night, but we obsess about the process and not necessarily the results. Again, not pleased with the results at all, but very pleased with the way that their kids have responded to the things that we've asked them to do, the things that we've put a point of emphasis on that really shows up each and every single week, and the way that the team responded. Now we got to finish, we got to close. We talked about those things, and again, the way that we will lead, we'll make sure that our guys continue to, take those moments, that they take them in stride and that they learn from them, and that, we can learn now in a new position to be in a dominant position and to close and to finish when we're in those roles. And that's all a part of learning and growing. But again, the growth within the building, the progress that we're making, I think that is pretty apparent that we see each and every single week. And again, we got to close and finish the right way as we go with it. But again, pleased with the progress, pleased with the way the guys responded yesterday, leaning into the tape, learning those lessons, and really excited about the energy that they brought to practice, which again is not surprising because of their eagerness to go compete and improve today and to play together this beautiful game that they love and the opportunity that we have at the end of this week. So excited about what we have here and now and where we're going in the future.
I think you touched on, Sean, having the bye week in advance of these 6 games. Did that allow you to spend a little bit more time on what's to come here, including Boise State?
Yeah, we utilized the time that we had during that bye week, knowing that this was going to be a quick turnaround, so that we were able to, be slightly ahead. But then obviously you want to make sure, obviously, that you're dialed in, that things are right. So there'll be some long nights here as we roll, but that's all part of it. And we'll sleep on the plane when we get up there, and it'll all be worth it at the end of the day.
What have you seen from there's so much attention on Ashton, but their quarterback play has been really good. I mean, the receivers have been, obviously they're a very good team, but what have you seen from their quarterback plays?
Yeah, very, very efficient, right? Does a great job of taking care of the football. Does a really nice job knowing and understanding, how their concepts are layered and how they fit, and how everything is set up and how the plan is tied together. But, it has a great handle. It's almost like a wrangler being in complete control of his cattle out there, right? Like he has a complete control of what he's doing and the people that are around him and the calls that are being made so that he can attack things the right way.
Coach, can you talk kind of coming off of that question, can you just kind of talk about Genty, just how you guys plan on maybe attacking him or slowing him down? I know he's kind of banged up from the UNLV game the other night, but just kind of talk about that young man and what he brings to the table.
Yeah, exceptional talent, right? And an individual effort and an individual talent that requires, a tremendous group effort by everyone in the building this week, right? We got to do a great job, as best we can on the service team, simulating the looks that he's going to give us, which is really, really hard to do because he's a complete back. He's a physical runner with home run speed. So, again, it really comes down to making sure that, again, we win the pre-snap cycle so that we have our cleats in the ground, we're ready to play each individual play with an intentional focus and an intentional purpose and with relentless effort so we can get multiple hats to the ball and really gang tackle his ability. Because when it's just one or sometimes two and sometimes even three, like you better have 4 or 5 guys there because he's going to make you earn it, and he does not go down easy.
Can you also talk about, we have a couple kids on their team, Matthew Lauder, the tight end, I believe he's number 85, Jaden Virgin, he comes off the edge, Mount Carmel kid, and then 2 Torrey Pine kids with Notriani and then Lauder. Can you kind of talk about those kids? Do they kind of jump out on film? I know they played pretty good against UNLV the other night, especially the 2 guys on defense.
Sure.
Can you kind of talk about those cats?
Yeah, their team as a whole is exceptional, right? And every single guy that's up there, they do a really nice job embracing their role and playing their role, and they play connected in all 3 phases. And when you look at the tape, whether it's individually or collectively, there's not very many holes that you feel like you can exploit as you go forward with it, right? So we'll continue to take a real deep dive, right, to see where maybe there are some kinks in the armor, but right now they're pretty tough to find, right, to be able to go take advantage of because they're a complete team. We got to have a great week of prep as we move forward and go into this opportunity.
But with Notriani, he plays. I'm sorry, but Notriani, is he a sideline guy? I know he plays back. He had a pretty good game against UNLV. But does he kind of jump out on film like something you're like, wow, that kid, we need to block that young man up?
We got to block them all. right? I mean, they're all capable, they're all willing, they're all explosive, and again, there's a reason why they've had the production that they've done. I mean, shoot, their only loss is the number one ranked team in the country, right? And they did a really nice job limiting, those guys in all three phases as well, right? And so again, we got to do a great job across the board, and it's not. Obviously, there's individual pieces that require special attention, right, and special attention to detail. But again, it's always going to be about who we are, our process, how we move through the week, and respecting, obviously, that's on that opposing sideline, who happens to be Boise State this week, right? But it's going to be about our process, our daily prep, and again, having that intentional focus and purpose to go up there, right, with the work that we've done this week and have real confidence because of that.
How does your prep change this week, Coach, with being on a short week? Then you guys got to go play on Friday on the Smurf turf. Does anything change up because you kind of lose a day right there, or how does that kind of work?
Yeah, I mean, so normally today is our players' day off, right? And so today is really acting like a Tuesday for us, right? So quick turnaround, obviously cleaning up the tape with a late night on Saturday, but we brought the guys in yesterday. And then again, today in a normal Saturday game day work week. Today would be our kids' day off, but we brought them in. We were smart with the amount of work that we did on the field with all of it. We'll be on the field tomorrow, even though it's Wednesday for the real world. It's going to be, even though it's Tuesday for the real world. It'll be a Wednesday for us, right? And then, again, just kind of move through the week in that regard. So we kind of live in this alternate reality for the next 2 weeks, right, as we move and as we go through it all. And then, we'll kind of rinse, wash, and repeat as we get into another Friday game week next week.
It's all about opportunities, right? You're undefeated going in the Boise State game. Nobody beginning of the season maybe thought, okay, battle for first place. How do you go about it with your team in the pretty monumental, this game is a big game. I mean, not that they all aren't, but.
Yeah, I mean, that last statement's kind of everything, right? And as we all continue to get to know each other, right, like it's today was important. Today was a big day, right? Because today is the only day that we can control. This week is a big week, and this opportunity is a big week because it's the next one, right? And we want to have, again, this mindset, right, with our process that we do the next thing the right way to our standard all the time, right? And so, again, it happens to be Boise. We both happen to have undefeated records in conference, right? And all those external factors that make this a really special opportunity to showcase our team, the growth that we've had, our tremendous university, right? And where both these programs are at and where both these programs are going. All those are great storylines. But inside the building, we got our blinders on. And again, we're going to live to our purpose, right? We're going to be relentless in our daily improvement and competing today and stacking all these +1 days that we're able to get today, right? And we're going to do that with, again, a mindset to execute with purpose together because we're better and we're stronger together. It's not about an individual making a play for individual glory, right? It's going to be about the collective team and those individuals having pride in their performance to execute together. And regardless of what work, when it needs to get done, hey, normally this is an off day. Well, now it's a work day, right? Like the work that winning requires, it doesn't change just because we're playing on Friday. That doesn't change just because of who we happen to be playing. And again, all those things we're in control of, and we got to do a great job working our process, which we've done an unbelievable job of here as of late, which has led us to put more complete games together. And we got to continue to raise the intensity, raise the focus, raise the purpose of how we're doing it to go capitalize this opportunity that happens to be on Friday night, that happens to be against a really good team. But I happen to believe that we're a really good team, and we're going to be ready for that moment come Friday.
Coach, how optimistic are you that you can come away with a win on Friday night?
I feel good because of the way that our kids responded from Saturday, and I feel good because of the way that we handled our business today. And I'm hopeful that we'll continue to be intentional in our process and that we will attack the work that winning requires and do it together with an intentional focus that we believe in. That's our mindset. That's our mantra. And if we work that process, I'll be very pleased because of that work. And I believe that the results will earn because of how we go about our work throughout the course of this week.
And forgive me if this was already asked because I came in a couple of minutes late, but penalties continue to be a problem. Is there anything that you can do to further eliminate them?
Yeah, we'll continue to be very disciplined in our process. We'll continue to be very intentional in our approach, and we'll continue to thread that needle of the ones that, again, just show up on the stat sheet that everyone just points to and says, hey, that's bad. That's a penalty, right? Like, I can teach my beautiful daughter to be an angry accountant by looking at all the numbers, and hey, the numbers that are red on the spreadsheet, get really mad at and yell, right? And the numbers that are black, that's good, get really happy. So everyone can look at those end results and point to and say, hey, that's a red number, be mad, right? Like, our staff's done an unbelievable job saying that, hey, of those numbers, these are unacceptable, and we're going to obsess about those. And from the start of the year to where we are now, that has improved, versus the other ones that, hey, we want you to be of a default, disciplined, aggressive mindset, and that's going to come. There's some judgment calls that were made that are going to happen, and those judgments happen to go one way or the other throughout the course of the game, and those I'm not going to worry about because I have no control over any of that. And we're going to be so good that nothing else matters that happens to be in between those white lines with us.
And one other topic, which doesn't really relate at all to this upcoming week, but the condition of the field at Snapdragon Saturday, from me watching at home, looked horrific. Did you know it was going to be in that kind of condition? And your thoughts of how would you describe the condition of the field on Saturday?
Yeah, the biggest thing that I want to make sure that, we have for our kids and the experience that they have, that everything that they interact with is at a championship level. And we're going to work daily to make sure that everything that touches our kids, from the people, the facilities, the processes, the support that they have in all areas, which they experience on a day-to-day basis, that is at a championship level. And we're going to be intentional about our process the same way that we ask our kids to be intentional in their process and to have their patterns of behaviors and their daily disciplines be at a championship level. I think it's critically important that we, as the leaders of the university and the leaders of the community and those in all areas that impact our kids, that's at a championship level as well. And we'll make sure that it's that as we go forward.
Would you call that field in championship level on Saturday night?
We're all looking to get better.
Okay, thanks.
What can you say about, these are two of the better pass rushes in America, but
Yep.
both yours and Boise State. What sticks out about Boise State, the way they've been able to get after a quarterback?
They're relentless. I mean, the motors that their kids play with up front are really uncommon, and it's a testament to, again, the culture that's been built there over time and what they've been able to sustain and the way that they relentlessly pursue the quarterback. It's amazing. Obviously, there's the technique aspect of the skill and the talent that they have, but it really jumps off the tape with, the number of sacks that they're able to generate because of their relentless effort and the way that they work in unison together. So that's really, really impressive.
And Coach, I know you've been asked about him before and have talked about him before, but Marquez Cooper is really starting to pass some big names on the list of all-time rushing yardage. Again, what does he bring to the program, and how good can this guy be?
Yeah, I mean, again, his consistent daily approach and his individual process over all the years that we've been together, going back to January, 2020, his individual growth, his maturation, how he's refined his habits and his competitive nature has really been exceptional to see, right? So now we're at the back end of it. And again, everyone's noticing, hey, 40th career touchdown, 41st career touchdown, all these marks where he continues to climb, where it seems like every single time he touches the ball, there's someone that he's surpassing, right? And those results are awesome. But again, being process-oriented, you can look back from where he was the very first day when he stepped on campus as a mid-year enrollee to where he is now. And again, the growth, the maturation, the improvement in what he does day in and day out. And he came in with an incredibly high floor in that, and he's only elevated that because he just has this, again, relentless pursuit of improving and competing each and every single day. So he obsesses about today, and because of his obsession about today and the details of his craft and wanting to know the nuance of every single play and how it's going to attack a front and where he can be a value in the throw game and how he can help in protection and how the screen game is going to sort out, it allows him then in the moment to be trained, to be ready, and he seizes those opportunities that then leads to the production and the outcome that everyone gets really, really excited about. But I love how he goes about his business and all the work that's unseen, because then that yields the, again, results, the cheers, the flashing lights, all that great stuff, right? But it's because of everything that he does individually that he's implemented into our culture and our locker room here that has helped grow, along with Tano, along with, Chris Johnson, along with Trey, along with Jude Wolf, along with all the guys who have bought into our way of doing things, right? Because it's our way, not my way, it's our way, that they've grabbed this vision, they've grabbed this blueprint, they've made it their own, and now they're taking hold of it. And it's been great to see that growth. And Coop is just one of many, right, that have grabbed hold of that within the organization and is running with it.
Can you talk about guys stepping up? Cam Davis, 1 carry, 38 yards.
Yeah.
Javance comes in, plays pretty well. Michael Harrison, an exceptional game. These
Yeah.
are guys who don't get as many snaps as some of the starters. Talk a little bit about them being ready and their numbers called.
Yeah, I appreciate the question, right? Because it allows us to shine a light on guys who have been working quietly in the dark, right? And, you know, a guy like Mikey, obviously we know who he is. He's been a rotational player for us. Obviously his volume and workload went up. And again, another guy who, over the course of being with him for the past 2 years, right, it's not surprising because of his daily process that the opportunity presents itself. He's ready, he's trained. It's not like rising to the occasion, right? Like he's trained and ready for that moment and he seizes it. Cam's the same way. Like Cam's been exceptional ever since we've shown up. Again, just there's a seriousness, there's a competitive maturity about the way that he goes about his business, and obviously he has a great skill set with some explosive playmaking ability that, again, hey, like, you got to go. Okay, cool. Like, he jumps in and he's good to go, right? I mean, Cy, he's able to jump in, right? And we talked a couple weeks ago about Cy to where, you know, could he benefit from this year, you know, hey, redshirting and developing? Yeah, maybe so, right? But the team needs him, right? So when we talk about execute with purpose together, it's not about what's best for me, it's best for we. And he's jumping in and he does a great job anchoring down the right guard position, right? And does an exceptional job with that. Javance obviously had one start earlier in the year. He's been in the middle of this, you know, of this big quarterback competition that's been rolling and going. So he's had the mindset, again, since January when we got here that, hey, I'm going to position myself and I'm going to train myself. And every time I move through the building and interact with my teammates and when I'm in the community, I'm going to act like I'm QB1. So then when the opportunity comes, he goes in, executes really, really well, is able to produce points, right? And then, again, becomes the biggest cheerleader and advocate for all the good and all the success that's happening, you know, within the offensive unit and within the team, right? And then defensively, you got, you know, Jelani who continues to come on so that when Chris goes down, you know, with the shoulder for a few plays, he's up, he's ready to roll. Hey, like Deshaun McEwen goes down for a second. Again, Josh hops up and he's in and he's available, right? So across the board, again, like our mindset, right, that we're instilling within the culture is, hey, next man up. Right, like be ready. Everyone wants an opportunity. Like, coach, it's going to be my time. It's going to be my time. Like, when's it going to be my time? Like, that. It's a little bit of a fantasy world, right? Like, at some point in time, your time's going to come, but I don't know when your time is going to be. But you better be ready when the opportunity presents itself, so that again, you're ready. You're trained, right? Like when these guys graduate and they go off into the real world, like they don't know who they're going to be interacting with in the community, this beautiful community, right? That is going to be the next relationship, the next connection. But because of how they present themselves, how they carry themselves, when someone asks about, hey, you got a business model? Heard you want to be an entrepreneur. Tell me about that. And they're able to go to that. Oh, well, I want to be one of your angel investors to that. Here's X amount of dollars to get that thing off the ground. Like, those things are going to happen. And because of the mindset and the culture, again, like it's going to help them be great players right here and now, but it's going to help them be great men in the future. And that's really, really exciting. So that when they come back for their homecoming in 2044, right, and they got their kids and they're talking about, oh, coach, like you're saying all this stuff about be the alpha and cover and move and blue collar nasty, like, man, you're actually talking about life. Like, yeah. And it made you a better person, which made you a better player in the moment. But yeah, it's about life. And it's really cool to see that growth amongst, again, within everyone, within the organization as we move forward. And it happens to be showing up on the field in the big time way, which is really cool.